All right, you're not going to like this story. Another shocking development in the expanding VA scandal. The former St. Paul, Minnesota VA director, Kimberly Graves, who allegedly stole $130,000 in relocation expenses, which is taxpayer money, has now been reinstated. This after she appealed her demotion, and she'll most likely get the $50,000 pay cut back from her paycheck. But there's no reason given why. Joining us right now with his reaction is the Vice President of Concerned Veterans for America, Dan Caldwell. There's a lot of work on reforming the VA and pushing them to make these reforms. Dan, this seems like a massive setback for the push to streamline things and get people accountable.
It is, and it's important to know that this is actually the second time this has happened. She had her demotion reversed a couple months ago because the VA forgot to include paperwork in the case before the Merit Service Protection Board, which is the group that reversed this demotion. So very well what could have happened is the VA, again, could have bungled the case, which is unfortunately becoming common when they try to fire bad VA employees.
So she had $130,000 that was supposed to be used for her relocating from Philadelphia to St. Paul. That money ends up being pocketed. No one denies, and even in the VA didn't say, well, this didn't happen. It turns out we have evidence to the contrary. We just know that she moved up, and we're going to be responsible, the taxpayers, to give her the lost wages.
Absolutely. Then that's what the VA say. They call it an error in judgment. They refuse to call it misconduct. And this is a big reason why the VA is never going to get fixed with the current leadership. They can't even acknowledge what real misconduct is. Brian, I'm sure if you stole $130,000 from Fox News, you'd be thrown out the door face first. It's absolutely absurd. And this is unfortunately a toxic culture that infects that institution.
And I find out, too, that Diana Rubens, who filled Graves' spot in Philadelphia, was also demoted for allegedly pocketing $274,000 in her move from D.C. to Philadelphia. Who knew it would cost that much? And just wait for her to get her job back.
It's very likely that she will get her job back because it's part of the same case. It's very likely that either the VA didn't make a compelling case before the board or, again, screwed up and didn't include proper documentation.
Well, we'll follow up on it. I know you will, too. Dan Caldwell, thanks so much.
Thank you, Brian.
All right, coming up.